This is Africa News coming to you from the capital city of Ghana, Accra, where the drums beat for Africa. I am Dowuona Elita. Ghana's Food and Drugs Authority, FDA, is cautioning citizens about the presence on the market of a counterfeit anti-malarial drug called Combirat. This was discovered during FDA's regular market surveillance activities. A statement issued by the authority warned both health and the general public to desist from purchasing the drug, adding that the counterfeit drug does not contain any of the two active pharmaceutical ingredients it claims to have. The statement further asks that the general public be on the lookout and report to the authority the presence of this particular anti-malarial drug. Following the aftermath of the devastating earthquake in Turkey and Syria, Vodafone Ghana allowed its customers to make free international calls and text messages to Turkey and Syria. Additionally, the company says it also intends to refund to customers charges on all calls made to Turkey and Syria for the entire month of February. In an interview, Vodafone Ghana's Director of Legal and External Affairs stated that the company understands the importance of staying in touch with loved ones, especially during trying times such as recent earthquake disaster, and wanted to ease burden and stress on customers. This initiative allowed Vodafone customers to stay in close touch with loved ones in affected areas during the month of February at no cost. The IGAD Climate Prediction and Application Center in Kenya is warning of potential devastating effects of food insecurity if care is not taken. A press release issued by the center warns that more than 5.4 million people in Kenya would likely experience acute food insecurity in March 2023. They also warn that about 1 million children will most likely suffer the damaging effects of malnutrition. This is because East Africa is poised to face the worst drought in decades. Should this occur, the Integrated Food Security Phase classification is predicting an increase in the 4.4 million Kenyans currently facing high levels of food insecurity, representing a 43% increase compared to the same period last year. Many Kenyans are worried about the predictions, and last week, the President of Kenya, William Ruto, led a national prayer day for rain. He also committed to introducing policies that will mitigate the effects of the food insecurity and also ensure there is enough food to feed Kenyans. Though Kenya's rainy season begins in March, some regions continue to experience delayed rain or no rain at all, especially in the North Kenya, which is mostly arid and semi-arid. That region has had 6 failed rainy seasons and resulted in herders migrating due to the drought. This is Africa News. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Africa News. I am Dowuona Elita. The wife of the President of the United States, Dr. Jill Biden, arrived in Namibia earlier this week. This is the first leg of the First Lady's 5-day trip in Africa, where she is expected to promote the empowerment of Africa's women and youth. She was welcomed by Namibia's First Lady. Although this is Dr. Biden's 6th trip to Africa, it is her first in her capacity as First Lady. Dr. Biden is expected to spend 5 days visiting Namibia and Kenya. The U.S. sees Africa as a strategic partner. According to the White House report, Africa is the fastest growing and youngest region in the world. The report further states that by 2050, 1 of every 4 people in the world will be African. This trip is part of a commitment by U.S. President Joe Biden's drive to deepen U.S. engagement with the continent of Africa. Human rights and environmental activists are up in arms about a recent approval by the government of Tanzania to construct a crude oil pipeline. The approval given this week was for the construction of a $3.5 billion crude oil pipeline, part of a controversial mega project that has raised concerns over human rights and the environment. The 1,900-mile pipeline will transport crude oil from vast oil fields being developed in Lake Albert in northwestern Uganda to a Tanzanian port on the Indian Ocean. Both countries have provided the necessary approval, and a license has since been issued to the project operator. The East African Crude Oil Pipeline (EACOP) Tanzania General Manager hailed the project, saying that the approval for construction marked an important step forward, allowing for the initiation of construction activities in Tanzania. The project, however, has not been embraced by all and is receiving strong opposition from environmental groups and human rights activists, who say that the project threatens the fragile ecosystem of the region as well as the livelihood of tens of thousands of people. The project is being developed by the China National Offshore Oil Corporation, CNOOC, France's Total Energies, and the state-owned Uganda National Oil Company. An 85-year-old Sudanese, Ahmed Akbar, is warning that the Nile, Africa's longest river, could soon disappear. Ahmed says factors threatening the existence of the Nile including rising sea levels, resulting in saltwater intrusion downstream, global warming, and misuse of water resources by humans. The Nile, the second largest river in the world, is essential for millions of people, including the Sudanese, who are reported to have spent decades growing vegetables and grains near the River Nile in Khartoum. This affirms that the Nile has been the only source of living for generations in their families. Today, the flow of the Nile has fallen from 3,000 cubic meters per second to 2,830 in the past 5 decades, and the impact is troubling on families. For Ahmed, this means he takes a longer time and uses plumbers in order to irrigate his crops, which in the end add to his overall costs. Water experts offer even more dire predictions. For them, the increase of population translates into an increase in the overuse of Nile water, which threatens the future of the river. To compound the situation, the United Nations predicts that a lack of rainfall and increased droughts expected in Africa means river flow could fall by 70% in 20,000. This means a potential 75% loss of available water per local resident. Join us next time for Afrida News. Stay safe.